Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new session in Excel. Today, we are going to look at the match function, which is pretty straightforward and pretty useful. Again, like most of the functions, it's used together with other functions, which we'll look in other subsequent tutorials. Most commonly, I've seen match being used along with the index function. To get started on this, let us first create a table of items and quantity. Let us take an example of a car manufacturing company, and let's say it has to manufacture a very special car, and so it needs certain items at a broad range. We'll go for the engine. Definitely, it wants an engine, and it needs wheels. It needs the seats inside the car, and let's call it the headlights. And I think this is good for our music system. Let's get a music system in there. So we just added a few items here, and we'll just specify the quantity. Let's say we have 10 engines and 40 wheels required. And again, I would say 60 seats here and 20 headlights. And let's say just 5 of them have a great music system. So we'll add 5 music systems to it. So this is just step 1. We prepare our data. We get a sample data set ready. Now let us look at how we can use a match function. So match function basically takes 3 parameters. So I'll explain it as I type in the function, and we look at each of these values. Um, let's say the first is a lookup value. What exactly is it that we want? So match will actually return you the index of the thing, the lookup value that you're trying to match it against. For example, if you're trying to match seat, so specify seat, then you have to give the range of the column criteria where the search has to take place. So in our case, we look for seat from C3 to C7. So we specify C3 to C7. And the last parameter, as you see, is that if you want an exact match, you'll say 0. And that's a default. So that's an optional parameter, the third parameter. And if you don't specify that, it takes an exact match, 0. If you specify 1, then it can find an exact match or anything less but close to the exact match. And if you specify -1, you get an exact match or something which is close to it but greater than the exact match if exact match is not found. So that's how the last parameter works. So let us put 0 for now. And ideally, we are assuming that seat is the third in the index, so we should get 3 as an answer. So now you see we don't have an answer here, or we get an error. That's because the string has to be in quotes. So let us try again for an exact match. There we go. Now seat is the third in the index of the range that we specified from C3 to C7. And we get 3 as the index for seat. Ideally, this will go as an input to another function. So that is where the value of the match function lies. The response from the match function goes in as an input to another function. Another important thing that I would like to specify here is the case really doesn't matter. So if I had seat instead of lowercase, it still doesn't matter. Excel has a formula is powerful enough to match the case and look it up. And that's how it works. Let me try a few other things over here. For example, a wildcard star. And we still get 3 because what we say is let the first value be anything, but the last 3 words are EAT. and I get the required response. Now let me try something which is slightly different here. I would say that match me something in the range from C3 to C7, which has the letter T in it. And so technically speaking, what would this return? This returns seat to us because seat is the first in the list that has a T in it. And let me try something different here. For example, if I try M first comes in the last record. So let me try an M here and see. There you go. You get phi as a match here because M first appears in the end. Let us try to work around this with -1, which is less than or exact match. And so anything less than the exact match, how it works is the same way here. And if I give EE here, what happens? Let me check that. Should give me wheels. No, it doesn't work here. So this last parameter is very questionable, but we do know that 0 is for an exact match. So if I give seat, it works like a charm and gives me the response here. I can also try by a different column, the quantity. And in that case, obviously, I won't give the quotes here. And let me try with 60, an exact match in D3 to D7. And I get it as column 3. If I give 61, I should still get this for -1, but I don't get it. So let me try with 59 because -1 is for less than, close to, or less than. Actually, 61 should have matched it. So as you see, this function doesn't work with -1 and 1 that accurately. But yes, with 0 or the default, it works like a charm. So that's about it about the match function. And the match function is mostly used in conjunction with another function like an index, because match will return you the index of the column where it finds the match, and that goes as an input to another function. And that's how you use the match function. So that's about it for today. And if you have any questions, you can get back to me at any time. You can put a comment on the video and I'll definitely try to respond to you. And that's about it for now. And until next time, bye bye.